There is a silent war happening inside almost everyone. Not a war with the world, a war with life itself. You try to control everything: people, timing, outcomes, the future. You grip so tightly that life can no longer flow through you. And the strange part is, the harder you force things, the more everything slips away. Relationships collapse. Opportunities disappear. Peace becomes impossible. Not because you are cursed, not because life is unfair, but because you were never meant to carry the entire universe on your shoulders. For thousands of years, Buddhist wisdom has warned humanity about one dangerous illusion: the illusion of control. You cannot receive with a clenched mind. You cannot hear life while drowning in mental noise. And you cannot flow with existence while constantly fighting reality. The universe is... Most people wake up already exhausted. Not physically, mentally. Before the day even begins, their mind is already rehearsing problems that do not exist yet. What if this fails? What if they leave? What if I'm too late? What if everything falls apart? Modern life praises this behavior. It calls it responsibility. But Buddhism calls it suffering. In Buddhist philosophy, there is a concept known as dukkha, the inner friction created when the mind resists reality. And resistance has become humanity's default state. You want life to move according to your timeline. You want certainty in an uncertain world. You want permanent things in a temporary existence. But reality refuses to obey. And that creates tension inside the mind. The truth is, most of what you obsessively try to control was never under your control to begin with. You cannot control another person's heart. You cannot control timing. You cannot control how life unfolds. You can act, you can influence, you can prepare. But control? That is the grand illusion. And the moment you finally realize this, something... Trusting life does not mean becoming passive. It does not mean sitting in your room waiting for miracles. Real surrender is not weakness. It is intelligence. Water does not destroy rock by force. It flows around resistance. And over time, it reshapes mountains. That is the wisdom of flow. Buddhist and Taoist philosophy both teach a powerful principle. Stop forcing, start aligning. There is a difference between planting a seed and digging it up every day to see if it has grown. One creates life. The other destroys it. Many people sabotage their future because they cannot stop interfering with the process. They chase too hard, need too much, fear too deeply. And that desperate energy pushes life away. The universe responds differently to calm presence than it does to panic. When your mind becomes clear, you begin to notice opportunities you were too anxious to see before. You stop reacting from fear and start moving from awareness. That is when life begins to open. Sometimes the problem is not lack of effort. Sometimes your own energy is blocking the flow. Here are the signs. You constantly rehearse conversations that never happen. You replay painful memories like mental torture. You resist reality instead of learning from it. You treat stillness as laziness. You feel guilty whenever you are not productive. But Buddhism teaches something modern culture has forgotten. Stillness is not emptiness. Stillness is clarity. The mind is like water. When constantly disturbed, it cannot reflect truth. And many people are suffering not because life is against them, but because their inner world never becomes still enough to listen. Surrender is deeply misunderstood. People think surrender means giving up, but Buddhist wisdom teaches the opposite. Surrender means releasing the rigid attachment to how life must unfold. You still act, you still dream, you still move forward. But you stop demanding that reality obey your script. And strangely, that is when life finally starts moving again. Because desperation creates resistance. Peace creates flow. The moment you stop chasing life in fear, life stops running from you. One day, quietly, without warning, you will notice something has changed inside you. You are no longer holding your breath, waiting for life to begin. You are simply living, presently, openly, without fighting every moment. And from that state, life begins to move differently. Not because the universe suddenly started helping you, but because you finally stopped standing in your own way. The flow was always there. You were the resistance. And now, you are learning how to let go. If this opens something inside you, subscribe to the Insight Quest. Because this channel is not here to entertain your mind. It is here to awaken it.